Choose your character.
All right. Welcome back to the Geekset podcast, only podcast that blend hip-hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces, and this is 1-on-1 with Deuces, the place where I speak with creators, curators, and people that you should know. And guys, if you listen to my podcast, you already know that I am a big fan of the boys universe, Gen V, and we have none other than the one and only Susan Heyward, aka Sister Sage. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How you doing? Thank you so much for having me.
I'm doing amazing. So, first thing first, on my platform, we're very big on giving people their flowers while they're here. And I want to let you bring to the boys universe, to Gen V, is so amazing. I mean, in a world where we're always looking for representation, we're looking for more people of color and heroes in movies, but not also just having the same type of character tropes. Your character in this show is so amazing, and it speaks volumes to everything that you're doing. And then, being a nerd and a geek myself, just being able to see, a woman in color in such a high like a high standard on this show. I just want to say, from the culture, from me, thank you for everything that you are giving us on this show.
What a way to start. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. That's the dream. That's why I do it. That's 100% why I do this. So thank you so much.
No, anytime. Because I know, like I said, growing up for you, you looked at characters like Storm and Chitara from Thundercats, and
okay, research. Okay.
Yeah. So now you get to throw your name in that, in that pool. So like, how does with seeing the emphasis on like nerd culture growing, cosplaying and everything like that, how does that feel for the inner geek in you to be in this world?
It feels amazing. It feels like I wasn't crazy. I knew I could do it. Like there's the 8-year-old in me who was watching the Cosby Show, who was like, okay, Rudy Huxtable, that was my part, but it's okay. You got that one. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to tell stories. Stories have been kind of my guiding light since I was a kid. And to be in a world that so many people love and embrace, that I embrace. I was a fan of the show, still am a fan of the show. And to be a part of something that's so topical, it's hitting on the nose what people are dealing with when they walk outside their doors, is the dream. It's what I've always wanted to do. So I'm so grateful.
Yeah, and as a writer yourself, I know those, thematic, moments in there. You gotta like appreciate just the writing and how it's executed.
Yes. I mean, I read scripts, I read auditions. I've always been big on books, novels, biographies. My best friends are writers, actually, too. So when I get those scripts and I see how far ahead they're thinking and how many balls they're juggling, and how it all comes together in a way that's satisfying, I'm stoked to be a part of it.
Right. And then, so I know, like I said, you said, you kind of manifested it without even manifesting it, because, you said you watched it, and I want to be correct. I don't know if it was your boyfriend at the time or husband at the time.
Boyfriend at the time. Well done.
And you told them, you said, wouldn't it be cool if I'm on this show? So when you actually got the role, what was that moment like? Like, what was...
Oh, gosh. Well, it was amazing. So on that we saw the first episode, and I literally pointed to the screen and was like, I want to be on something like that. Like, even in the moment, I didn't dream as specific as being on the show. Just something like that. Just something close. And then we kept watching seasons. And then when the audition came, I was like, oh, no way am I going to get this. So I can just relax and do whatever I want to do, because there's no way I'm actually going to get it. So I made the tape with my, at that point, husband. And he was a fan of the show, and we could talk about like how to do it in a way that would fit into the thing that we love so much. And then I sent it off and let it go. Like, I think a real big part of prayer, manifestation, whatever you want to call it, is to not hold on to it too tight. You give your best and you release it, you let it go. And I was hanging out with my best friend, a playwright, what's up, Ngozi? I see you, girl. And I got the phone call from my managers, and they were like, you got it. And so we jumped up off the couch. We were like, it's crazy. It was nice. That moment was like, like I exhaled, like I inhaled maybe 2 years before when I first saw it, and I could finally exhale when it came to my life.
So with a role like this and in a show like this, I always want to know, because I asked Laz the same thing. Like when you get this role and you like read the lore or know about the show, do you want the extreme, or like is it one of those moments where you're like, you know what? I need my character to push these boundaries, or do you want to be one of the more reserved characters?
I wanted to go as far as humanly possible, and in this case, superhumanly possible. I want to get that's part of the fun of this job, getting to do things that you would never have the opportunity to do. I remember watching that moment when we see Homelanders, we see his like sexual kink with the milk and all that stuff, and I was like, this show, whatever they're working with, I want to be in on that, and I want to push it as far as humanly possible. Oh, I love it.
And they're executing it with your character so much in this world. Like I said, because you came in immediately, and so it's like, I like the bait and switch that they gave us, because you came in, we're like, all right, she's definitely going to take down, Homelander and everything like that. And then it's like, all right, well, maybe she's kind of playing Homelander. Like we were so back and forth, like, all right, do we like Sage or do we not? Because we don't know where she's at.
I love that. One of my favorite actresses is Diane Carroll. Okay. And she's absolutely iconic during that 80s big shoulder soap opera kind of time period. And beautiful, elegant Black woman. And part of her getting that job was telling her agent, she was like, I want to be the first Black bitch on TV. Oh, and you can find this clip of her talking about this in that interview. And I was at a moment when I wanted the same thing. I was like, I do this one kind of character, but I want to play a character where keep people guessing. You don't know, and it just keeps people on the edge of their seat. So when it came to my desk, when I got the part and I saw those first episodes, and I was like, I don't even know. Yes, I'm in. 100%.
Now, so the one thing I like about Sage, and again, it's one of the things where it's like, okay, I'm trying to figure her out, because she's so against the suit agenda, where like she doesn't really want to even wear the suit, but she's also obviously one of the obviously the smartest suit in that world. But for you as a geek, when you read that part that she doesn't want to wear the suit, I know a little bit had to go, oh.
Yes, that's 100%. I was like, she don't like it. How could she not like being in the suit? Who doesn't want to be in the suit? So I got all of my joy out during the costume fittings with the amazing team that put all the costumes together. They're out in LA. They're an incredible team. I was a little disappointed that she didn't enjoy it, but then I get this amazing acting challenge, right? I get to have my own joy about it, and then I get to dive into the mindset of a person who is so disillusioned with humanity, is so uninterested in commerce and marketing that she doesn't even want to wear it. That's a great acting challenge. So
yeah, it's a great aspect for the character, even just in general, just to add to more of the mystery of Sage. Because even with the with the recent promotion to as CEO of the Vault we get in Gen V and everything, we still don't know where Sage is. We're like, wait a minute, all right, because and it's funny because I watch a lot of these shows. I mean, I've been deep in Marvel, deep in DC. I'm big geek, right? And so it's, after a while, there's a lot of tropes that you're like, okay, you kind of know what's going to happen. Sure. When you popped up on Gen V, I was like, wait, what? I did not see that coming. and in the entrance, I was like, what is going on here?
Yes. That is gold to any performer, to get people out of their minds, to get people not feeling like they know what's happening, to get them anxious and thinking and imagining. That is gold. So to hear that from you, then mission accomplished.
Yeah, and so this is why, like I said, we still theorize with like, all right, Sage is on our side, because one big thing that stood out in The Boys, and it still kind of leads to like, okay, what is Sage's overall plan, is when you tell that story about like you had a cure for cancer when you was young, but nobody wanted to listen to you. Now we know in today's world, like even especially in the medical, right, that we often hear these stories about how Black women often, like, they'll talk about, the pain that they're going through and doctors don't listen to them and everything like that, right? And knowing how The Boys really mirrors a lot of real world. So I was like, all right, so maybe, and so this is my overall. I'm like, maybe Sage is like, she's deep cover. She's gaining the trust of all these soups, but in reality, she's really about to lead a revolution against these soups, get them out of here because she knows she's smarter than everybody and she wanted to do good, but they didn't want to listen to her because she was a woman and she was a Black woman. That's my overall theory about Sage.
I love that theory, and I'm gonna leave you to your theory and let the episodes confirm just how close or how far away you are.
Okay, and I'm excited for it because even with the latest reveal, like we're saying with Cypher and his and his overall goal of super supremacy and everything, I'm like, that doesn't really even seem like Sage's bag. So I'm like, what is her role in this? I feel like she's making Cypher think that this is like she's aligned with them, but she really has something else. I really love what you guys are doing with the character and everything like that. So now I do want to take it back a little bit though, like just even in general with you, because your acting journey has been very, very interesting. So I know for you, one of the big inspirations for you was Lynn Whitfield playing Josephine Baker. Yeah. Right. And I want to know, what about that role really inspired you and motivated you?
Oh man. Two things. They started the biography with watching her as a little Black girl. And she was caught up, I think, in the middle of a riot in her town. And the way they filmed it, where she was just this little Black girl surrounded by chaos and violence and feeling really lost and didn't know her place. I really resonated with that. At the time when I saw it, I was living outside of West Philadelphia in a time when West Philadelphia was a really hard place to be at. I've since moved, so I think it's still the case, if I'm honest. So the way I watched a story capture something that I felt, people who didn't know me, who didn't know my world, but they understood how I felt and they captured it in the story. I really resonated with that. And then just the story of Josephine Baker, how she used performing to make herself safe. She used performing to get herself out of the United States and travel to France. Right. She used performance to create the family that she didn't have. She adopted children from all over the world and she called it her Rainbow Tribe, because she was so passionate about bringing peace to people and bringing understanding where it wasn't naturally happening. So trying to bring peace into a chaotic world, those are two things that really, really resonated with me.
No, that's no, yeah. That's because that when I heard that, and then I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, you know what's crazy? And this is how the crazy full circle moment that can be. Because I was like, I can totally see you doing Lynn Whitfield's story in her biopic.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. That flames on the side of my face. That would be so exciting. I hadn't had that thought before, actually.
Really? I'm surprised. Have you ever had a chance to meet her? And like, at least
I have had a chance to meet her. During my theater days, I got to understudy a really popular play called Ruined that happened here in New York, and she came to see it because it was one of those things where it was like a moment, and so everybody kind of came to have their moment with the play. And when she was there, I had told all of my friends about how much I looked up to her, how much her work changed my life, and my other fellow actors in the show had to elbow me and be like, go say hi, go introduce yourself. And I walked up to her like a little student, like all aflutter, like, hi, I love you so much. So I got the chance to meet her and give her flowers, thank her for her work and her legacy, and I'll never forget that moment.
No, that's dope. That's dope. Because like I said, I always look for those full circle moments just in general, because it kind of helps, let you know that you're on the right track. They always often say, don't meet your heroes or your celebrities and things like that. But I'm an overly optimistic person, right? I always assume that people are going to do good and it's going to be a good interaction. And I do believe that if you come genuine, then that interaction can be like that. So I really do love that for you. Speaking of your Broadway days, I mean, you're also a Potterhead,
Yeah. I call myself a Slither Claw.
Okay.
Because I got the Raverin, but I got a little Slytherin in me too.
Now obviously you read the books, right?
Yeah.
I got to ask you the hard question. What's your favorite?
Oh, I thought that was going to be harder. Order of the Phoenix.
Okay.
There's something so empowering about the children looking around and being like, oh, the adults really are asleep. We don't have to be the ones to do this. Okay, let's do it. Even when I was reading them, that was my favorite. And then, I got to be in the Broadway show. I got to play the daughter of Hermione and Ron 20 years after the end of the book series.
Mm-hmm.
And to watch how the play dealt with Harry being a child soldier, basically. All of them were fighting a huge, epic war when they were children. So Order of the Phoenix was one I was like, kids know way more than we give them credit for.
Absolutely. And like I said, I mean, especially in that Harry Potter world. Listen here,
Woo.
I'm just in that Harry Potter world. Like, listen here, I'd rather be a kid in that world than be an adult.
Because they're asleep at the wheel. They let all of their beliefs and their assumptions blind them to what's really going on. And I was like, oh, I never want to be that person.
All right, so we have a couple of fun questions and fun segments that we do, and so I want to ask you a couple of questions. All right. So in Black culture, music plays a big part in our life. We play music when we clean. We play music when we're happy, when we sad. We play music. As the newly appointed Vault CEO, what music does Sister Sage listen to in the morning to get her day started?
Ooh, I think depending on the day, she'll listen to some house. Just kind of like, because she's so tapped into the brain, just something to get her out of her brain and into her body. And then depending on how much BS is thrown at her, I think she'll listen to like some metal. Actually, I'm thinking of like Jada Pinkett Smith, just like, just absolute raging out. And then that's when she's looking for the ice pick, and she's like, I need an ice pick or something to quiet my brain. So I think some house to get it vibing, and then when she absolutely has to express those feelings that she, I think, has a hard time getting in touch with, some really hard to just get it all out.
Yeah, I feel like if the day if it's a heavy Homelander day, she's definitely got to like.
You understand where I'm coming from? You understand?
Right? Like, I gotta deal with this guy today.
It's like she's not a romantic. She's not gonna put on some R&B. She's not putting on neo soul. She's like, all of that stuff for her, I think, is too like namby-pamby doing the feelings. I don't think that's not her bag. That's my bag, but I don't think
right. So all right. So are you familiar with Invincible?
I'm not very familiar with it. I'm aware of it, but not familiar with it.
Okay, because I gotta ask the question: Superman, Omni-Man, or Homelander?
Ew.
Who's winning out of this triple threat?
I think I gotta say Homelander, because he just doesn't have any filter. There's nothing that's off limits for him. There's nothing that's sacred, nothing holy. I think from what I understand of those characters, Homelander's gonna like find the thing that's the outlander, no pun intended, and the thing that everyone else would be like, oh no, that's sacred. We're not gonna touch that. And he absolutely would.
So that's always been my because like Superman is obviously the strongest one, but Superman has a moral compass, right? And then Omni-Man, for those who watch Invincible, his moral compass is starting to change. Homelander has been Homeland.
Moral compass where?
He's never heard the word. He's like, what is it? This doesn't make any sense. And
wouldn't hesitate.
And so I just think of him like this rabid animal that just won't stop. And that to me, that's what's going to put him over there.
Unfortunately, I feel like perseverance, just not stopping would win the day in that case. Not necessarily for the benefit of anyone except Homelander.
So one other thing that I love doing with a lot of actors who have like a lot of like dope roles and everything like that is I like to create this multiverse. So in the multiverse of Susan, I have a question.
Okay.
Dina from Power and Sage meets. Ooh. What happens? What does Dina think of Sage? What does Sage think of Dina?
Ooh, that's so fun. I think Dina thinks that Sage is full of herself, that her powers don't mean shit. I think Dina would try to interrogate her. But I think Sage would get into all of Dina's like daddy issues and like
She would.
tell her about herself and be like, you don't think I'm arrogant. You're unsure about yourself, little girl. Chill. And then I think they might actually vibe off of working with a white man who's tough to work with. They might start off really, really like aggressively against each other, and then bond and be like, "But these white boys, though, how you deal with yours? Oh, girl, yeah, I think they were trade stories."
That'd be hilarious. Because, like I said, when I was looking at it, I was like, they're so different, but like I can still see those similarities where like they would have things to talk about. Where it's like, all right, now that we got that out, let's have this moment.
Because Sage has her own daddy issues, her own family dynamics
Yeah,
that are complicated, and I think everything they do in the world is kind of generated from all of that, those wounds, all of that deeper inner stuff that they never quite figured out how to work out because they don't go to therapy, because therapy is not dramatic, it's a function. Right. So they're working out all of that stuff at work or in the world. And I think putting them in the same place, you have the fireworks at first, and then I think you have two women who are kind of dealing with some real similar stuff.
Okay. So last fun question.
Okay.
So I got to get a top 5 out of you in the Gen V boys universe. Top 5 shocking moments for you.
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Doesn't have to be in order. I'll give you that so that way you can make it.
Thank you. But I think the man going into the man's penis and then, oof.
Yes.
I mean,
absolutely.
That was like, wow, guys. For me, that breast milk sexual mommy thing, that was, I was like, y'all are working on something.
It was Homelander's reaction. Because they became a meme, but when she sprayed it on him and he had that, it was genuine. Like I
wasn't prepared. It lives with me still. And I love that. Like, because so much, and just a little segue, but so much of the industry uses sex as like, I don't know, extra or distraction or to sensationalize, but the psychology behind the sex in the boys is so deep and rich and
especially with Sage. Like, so with the whole deep situation.
I mean, I gotta give the ice pick number 3. That was shocking for me when I read it, and then I was like, oh my god, I get to do it. I'm so happy. And then Robin's death. I mean, to set it up. That set up where we were going, and we knew we were only going to go up from there. So that was a huge one. And then, I think it wasn't necessarily shocking, but at the end of, I think it was season 3, you had Butcher and then Homelander with their beef, and then Soldier Boy came.
Yeah.
And then when Soldier Boy entered, all of the loyalties went and shifted.
Yeah.
In a way that was so dramatically satisfying. I was like, oh, damn. It was like watching my stories again. I was like, damn. So that, just like as a storyteller, as someone who is so deeply invested in the character dynamics, that shift at the end, that was great.
Side note, just because you brought up Soldier Boy, I'm a big Supernatural fan, so I'm loving oh my god, and then they bring in Sammy now. I'm like,
get ready.
I'm here for it. So one thing that I started realizing is that like a lot of actors, like, so once you get into characters and everything, certain times you learn something from your character about yourself. So playing Sage, what did you learn about yourself?
Oh gosh, I learned that I have my own dose of cynicism about the world, about the state of the world, about the dark side. I don't even like saying dark, because dark is a beautiful thing. About the sinister side of humanity, and that it can be easy to give up, right? It's easy to just give up, write humanity off, and be like, I'm better than all of you, huzzah. So I had to deal with my own bit of cynicism when working with this role, and then how important it is to be around people who are good for you, because she lost her family young, she lost her grandma young, and then she never replaced that with humanity that she could either grieve with or grow with. And she was in Teenage Kicks for a while with A-Train, and then that didn't work out. So I think she isolated too much, and I think that's a lot of the gas about why she moves the way she moves. She's alone a little too much. She needs some friends.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, she
so
did. Yeah.
it was really important for me to be like, oh right, because sometimes I'll hermit. I'll be a workaholic. I'll work a little too hard, or go a little bit into my books, or binge a movie and be like, no, reach out to your people. Make sure you find your people and reach out.
Yeah, it's like I'm a big advocate for just like reaching out to people, just saying, "Yo, how's things going?" Because
Yeah.
that's especially in the Black community, that's a thing that we often don't do. There's a lot of tropes. The strong Black woman, so the strong Black man can't show
The
emotion,
stoic.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and so there's a lot of times that people don't check on people because we kind of got that already. I think the pandemic, unfortunately, but kind of the blessing in disguise, it forced a lot of people to do that, to unpack things, to be like, let me check on somebody, and I think that I've been seeing a lot of growth in our community about that because of
Yeah.
that. And I'm a person that I genuinely love that, because I'm like, yeah, let's I'm a champion of people. I'm a champion of chase your dreams, follow your dreams. I mean, like I just explained to y'all, saying I'm a one-man show in the interview, but I got a team for my general podcast. But
Mm-hmm.
like, we everything that we have done, we kind of just rally together. And so all those woes, ups and downs, we kind of lean on each other. And I think it made us better as people. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I like I said, I agree. Like you say, when you take those moments from the character that you're able to realize that. I know, because you as a writer and as an actor, you're able to identify those, but it's really great that you also are able to take from that in your real
Yeah.
world.
Just like put a little mirror up to myself and go like, oh, am I sharing a little bit too much with the character? Let me go ahead and go back to my real life
Yeah.
and turn the dial a little bit.
Yeah. And then, like I said, I feel like, especially since the pandemic. So a little bit about our journey. When we started the podcast, we just wanted to show that Black people are into these type of things: anime, comic books, video games, right? But now, as we're living into it, like I said, we're trying to do a documentary and everything about blurred culture, but
Yeah.
we're seeing so many of us doing so many things, and everything like that. Have you seen like people cosplay you yet, or have you ran into like them type of fans yet?
I have. I've gone to a few cons, and then every now and then other cast members will go to different cons and they'll send me a picture like, yo,
Yeah.
I just had a picture with Sage. So we have a little group chat. And it's like, Uncle Sage. So yeah, I've been able to see it. And like we talked about in the beginning, it's been so satisfying and humbling and gratifying to be like, oh, I've entered. I've entered the world and then been able to be that for other people, been able to, when it's time to go to the con, when it's time to find an outfit, that character can meet someone and be like, I know who I'm going to be. I'm going to be Sage. And ladies, I see you. I see the locks. Okay, I see the color. I see the shape. You're doing it. It's beautiful. It's
I love it. I
beautiful.
love it. So two cons I want to tell you about, just in general. You probably already heard about it, but if
Yeah,
if you tell your team, if you ever get the availability, either Blurred Con or Dream Con, those are the two.
I've heard about DreamCon.
Yeah,
Where's BlurredCon?
Blurred Con is usually in DC, I do believe.
Oh, DC. Yeah,
Yep.
Chocolate City. Okay.
Yeah, but
Sure, that
but
makes sense.
those are unapologetically Black, ran by Black people. And here's what the one thing I love about those cons is that I haven't been fortunate enough to go to a Comic Con like
Okay.
the official ones yet, but I've been to C2E2 in Chicago and all these other
Okay.
smaller cons, or other like slightly bigger cons, right? And when you look at the talent on stage and everything like that, at DreamCon and BlurCon, it's a lot of us, right? But the one thing that I love the most, and I was like, this kind of shows me like this is our people too, is that the staff and security were us. And in the Black community, you see an old Black man, old Black lady, you like, all right, it's instant respect. You like,
Yes.
if they tell you get in the back of the line, all right, I'm going in the back of the
Because
line.
we respect our elders.
Yeah, so it was very, very refreshing to kind of see all that. So tell your
Um,
team, if your availability opens around any of those, definitely, I guarantee you will have a blast. It'll be so much love bombing on
love.
you. You'll be like,
Thank you. That is a part of the relationship that I'm still figuring out, because I was like, theater actress and then a little bit on TV, a little bit here. And then to be on something like The Boys, it's a completely different level of exposure than I was used to. So to hear that, there's us waiting for me out there, and like space is made specifically for us, that's beautiful. So
No problem. All right. Well, so I would say our time is coming to an end, but I do want to say again, thank you so much for everything that you are giving us on this show. Thank you for so much that you are giving to this world with your acting and your writing. And I want to say you have a lifelong fan here with Geekset and my team and me, and we'll continue to support you in everything you're doing and all your endeavors.
Thank you so much, and I'll continue to support you guys. I love what you're doing.
No problem. And as always, this is the only podcast that blend hip-hop culture and geek culture together. I've been your boy Deuces. This has been the amazing Susan Heyward, and we are out. Peace. I mean, what the fuck we talking about here? Fridays, we are talking a brand new show, bringing you hilarious commentary about black characters.
Like Goofy and the whole gang, we all know that black. They been nigga. You know what I'm saying? P Black. He Uncle Ruckus. He Uncle Ruckus as a yeah, P Black is a
cartoon intro.
Dark Queen Duck. Dog, nobody gonna join them? I hate all y'all niggas. You gotta have real niggas around.
Anime drip.
Know me and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. What I'm talking about? I want to be able to have my pose. Just I want to throw it in there.
Game nights.
I feel like Twister is gonna get people in some positions that they don't need to be on. That's an HR nightmare. It's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Video games.
It would have to be a 2K. Hey, sometimes 2K be cheating, man.
And more. Brought to you by Geekset, featuring Deuces, Bacardi, Didge,
And
Trippy, and King. Tune in Fridays only on YouTube. I mean, what the fuck we talking about here?